Good evening, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. Tonight we are the Wisdom Circle with the lovely SunPsychic Jean, Wisdom Seeker Joan, Pure Visionary Terry Lee, and of course my cohort Heather. Welcome everybody. A little technical issues. Please come back. I apologize. My fault. I have no idea what I did, but there you go. Tonight, I guess it isn't night yet. I'm used to being at 8 o'clock instead of in the afternoon. So I'll change it to afternoon, everyone. And they're finding us. Hey, thank goodness. Sorry about that.
Oh, hi, Bora Bora. She made it.
Oh, good. You're back. I was trying to figure out.
Everybody will figure it out.
Yes.
They will. They will.
I think so.
Just technical difficulties on our end.
Absolutely.
And today, Heather's going to be our guest presenter. She's going to talk to us about how we're changing our reality. And also, I wanted to, let me just say the wisdom opening statement real quick. I wanted you to know that slideshows are difficult right now because Gmail and StreamYard, since I guess the latest upgrades, are not communicating. So we're going to do our slideshow a different way, and thank God SunPsychic Jean's here because she knows how to do it.
Yay.
It's so wonderful to have so much help. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Welcome to the Wisdom Circle. My name's Priscilla, and with my co-host, we'd like to welcome our fellow circle members, Jean, Joan, and Terry. And Terry Suzuki, who's usually here, is in Japan on holiday, so she'll hopefully make our next one.
A working holiday.
A working holiday. No, I think she's on holiday.
Is she on holiday? That's cool.
Anyway, we gather together monthly as a discussion group of women regarding awakening, awareness, and ascension. Our goal is to share, support, and validate each other as well as others who are following a spiritual path. We're here to share and discuss spirituality-related theories, experiences, information, and perspectives from diverse backgrounds and points of view. We hope to make you laugh, to feel included, and maybe gain some insight or perspective on whatever is happening to you on your spiritual journey. Our individual paths are unique. No two of us are the same, so please take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. Just remember, this is for entertainment and spiritual purposes only. And today, our friend Heather is going to be today's host. All participants' contact details are in the description of each Wisdom Circle video, as is a list of future Wisdom Circle show dates, presenters, and subjects. So please check it out when you get a chance. And now I'll turn it over to Miss Heather. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yeah, well, we're pretty much going to follow the slides. There are sometimes I'm talking about more. And all I want to say is if anybody has questions or any comments, anytime is fine. I don't care if you interrupt. Okay? Doesn't bother me at all. So obviously this is on changing your reality. So, and the one thing I did find about it is that it's not just metaphysical, it's scientific, which is really surprised me. I'm going, so doing research and finding that what we're saying is that you can change your reality, and they are saying you can change your reality.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, if we go to the next one. Okay, so can you change your reality? Yes, but everybody stresses that it's important, that if it's important enough to you to change and believe that you can, the power of belief is true, but only if it's true. In other words, you can't, if you don't feel it, it's not going to change. It all has to do with your mind. And the mind is a very powerful tool, according to Stanford researchers. They have been doing a lot of research on it. The mind actually can do some remarkable things, including shaping our health and well-being. And minds are observers and recorders of reality. And when it encounters, it sees it as truth. And we've been through this before, where it doesn't know if you're joking. It just assumes that everything that comes in is absolutely true. whether it's negative or positive, they think it's, and your brain thinks it's true. And if you think about the placebo effect, they've been doing research, if you're taking a pill that's not actually a pill, but you think it's supposed to help, it will help. That's your mind working.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
Yep. And next. And the research showed that there are two ways that the mind works, personal and chemical. So when you believe something so strongly that you're convinced that the outcome and is totally and full brain wired to focus on it, when you really believe it, you get the power of the mental and emotional drive to accomplish it. It's gonna happen. According to metaphysical, it says signals that you send out. These are transmuted out into the universe. And they're clustered there and they condense powerfully. So eventually, it's going to start happening. Again, you've got to believe it. Right? And it's like basically it's a manifestation of whatever you manifest. That's what it is. So when you change your thinking, you change your life. And some people say this is easy.
It's not easy. It's hard.
No, it's not that easy. Life is challenging. They think that all you have to do is change your negative thinking to positive thinking, but no. It's like Robert Frost in his poem. And I always love this poem because he's saying, take the path less. He chose to take the path less followed. But when you look at it in interpretation, even if your paths are parallel, the main difference to me is that in one of them, you're thinking. And that's the one that most people don't do. They just follow conventions. So you're taking the path less followed. So it's normal. So that's why I said, is this everybody else that's taking the other one? The conventions, they're still going by what they were taught. They don't think for themselves and think, this isn't the best thing to do. The path that's less followed is the one that you're actually
It's discernment. That's what it is. It's discernment. And you're using discernment in your life.
And in order to change that, it's a matter of recognizing a thought that's not beneficial for everybody and then changing it to one that it is. So you can change it. Okay. Next. So we were talking about understanding your reality, and most of us tend to believe that what we see, hear, and smell and are aware of is true. And therefore, that's our reality. A lot of us think that, not us so much as everybody else. Then we also believe that what you perceive as reality is actually what our brain predicts. Now, when I say predicts, what I mean is that our thought process is fast, but not as fast as things are happening. So it goes back to past things and says, oh, well, this will happen next. And so it predicts what you think the next thing is going to be. So how you behave is actually a prediction of your brain based on past. So we generally refer to reality as a sort of like a fuzzy collection of predictions that are more or less similar.
I think, Heather, if I can interject here, I think that's why we are creatures of habit, because it's easy for us to do the same thing at the same time, the same way.
Yeah.
And it's
You got it.
Exactly. Doesn't take as much brain power, but it's
like living on autopilot.
Yeah. And for some things that's good, like riding a bike and cooking a meal, and you have to do 3 things at once. But that's amazing. I haven't heard it say that the brain predicts. I haven't understood it put that way before, and it makes a lot of sense. Okay, next.
Okay, yes, the next. So you're going to retrain your brain. And of course, everybody's experiences are different. And everybody has different flawed information that gets mixed in. So our individual job is to find the information that's contributing to an undesirable prediction or outcome. That's where you have to stop and step back and look, is this really what I want to do? And if this isn't what you want to do, then you need to retrain to what it is that you want to do. So that's what we have to do when we retrain them on. Okay, and there are 5 ways that the brain makes decisions. Now, when they talk about availability heuristic, that's judging that something is more likely if examples can be easily or brought to mind. So whatever happened most recently is probably the easiest thing to bring up. Then there's representative heuristic, and that's using stereotypes or categories to group something with the similar mental example. So if something else is happening that happened before, it's going to automatically come up. Our brain is really smart and very fast. And then there's anchoring heuristic, and that's a tendency to mentally gravitate towards initially established thoughts. Always worked before, let's try it again. Right? And then affect heuristic. This is judging that if a decision feels good, it's got to be right. We know that one. And then there's commitment heuristic, and that's believing that we've already made a decision, so we better stick with it.
Can I just say, I don't know that word heuristic, so I had to look it up. Did you guys know that word? Because I've never heard that word.
What did it say?
Enabling someone to discover or learn something for themselves, a hands-on or interacting heuristic approach to learning, or computing, proceeding to a solution by trial and error by rules that are only loosely defined. What is heuristic? Heuristics are mental shortcuts that facilitate problem solving and probability judgments. Interesting.
Yeah.
What would you say? 80% is number 1, and then the others are all like incremental?
Yeah, the first 2 are the easiest ones to change.
Okay. Well, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and did you skip a bunch?
No.
Oh, this is in the wrong place. Okay. Anyway, I'll
Want me
go
to go
ahead.
to the next one?
That's okay. It's okay. Let's go back. I just forgot I had it in there. Let's go back, because this is Albert Einstein. He said, to truly change one's ideals, habits, and perspectives and reactions, you have to have the courage to leap into the unknown, because true change is unknowable. We don't know what's going to happen. It reminds me a lot of the number 1 tarot card where he's walking off the cliff. Leap of faith.
Leap of faith.
That's what you're doing, a leap of faith.
Our guides often tell us to be comfortable with the unknown, and that is where all the magic happens. That's where the manifestation happens. That's where all the guidance happens. And if we know it, we're more liable to be predicting it than if we don't know it. And then miracles can occur. And to be comfortable with the unknown. And this is really solidifying, and it's just making so much sense to me with the things that I've been understanding previously. This is like bringing clarity to it. So thank you. Want to move to the next?
Yeah. So when we're setting intentions to create a new belief, we can do this by journaling. In other words, if you're questioning something, you can say, why do I feel this limiting belief is true? Where did I learn it, and how would my life be different without it? If you're questioning a belief that you have, this is a good one. Then also, if you like affirmations, statements made out to perceive the truth. On my refrigerator, you got this. Build your confidence. You got this. Okay. Then there are meditations, and that's repeating your affirmations and guided meditations that can help you change how you think. A big one is mindfulness. And we keep talking about how great mindfulness is because you actually have to think. Maintaining a moment by moment awareness of thoughts and feelings environment without judgment. That's
Not easy.
not easy. And that's the other path, the path less traveled.
Mm.
So,
Beautiful.
then the next one. So how do we change our beliefs? Understand how the past experiences are programmed into our mind. Where did we learn that? That's where the journaling is helping us. What made it true to us? Mommy said so.
Yeah.
Okay. And we need to learn that we can deprogram and reprogram. We have to believe that. It's not always the same. It's what we decide. Rearrange your negative and confusing self-talk.
I think that's a huge one for most people.
It
is the
is.
negative
Put
self-talk.
yourself down.
Like even if you trip and you go, oh, stupid. Well, you're calling yourself stupid, and that's what your brain thinks.
Yeah, and the brain
That's
doesn't know
scary.
if that's true or not.
Mm-mm.
So you've got to watch what you say, even to yourself, and learn some steps to master your manifestations. In other words, you don't want to walk out the door saying this is going to be a terrible day, because it's liable to be.
Yeah.
You know. So
I like it when you told your stepsons to go back downstairs and get up on the other side of the bed when they came up cranky in the morning. I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
And it worked. They would be laughing so hard about having to go back downstairs. And in our house, the kitchen was in the middle. And they had to go clear to the end, go down the stairs and go to the opposite end to get to their bedrooms. So it was a good jaunt. And then back again. And they would be laughing so hard because I actually made them do it. I can't believe you're making me go downstairs. You know? But it changed their attitude and the whole thing was much better. They learned. And then you need to step out of the norms and make new choices. Think about it. Make your choices, not somebody else's. Make your changes a life habit and a daily routine. Mindfulness, do it all the time. And observe the changes without expectations. You know, don't always expect everything to be perfect, but you can see things are better. Okay. And the last thing I had is and this is Buddha, what you think you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create.
Perfect.
You're changing your reality, yourself. And it's scientific too. Okay, comments, discussion.
Oops.
Oh.
Like I said, comments and discussion.
That's
Okay,
scary.
well, I did star some comments.
Good.
But everything you said is just so right on and just amazing. Okay, Jennifer says, I always believed the mind is powerful too. Never knew there was a study made on the topic. Oh, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, and that one from Stanford, it was unbelievable what they had been finding out about the mind and the brain and how strong it is and how things can change because we decided to change things in our brains. And so it is a scientific thing. It's not just us metaphysicists. You like that word, metaphysicists?
And Garnet says, we're creatures of habit. Oh, so true. That's exactly why it's so bloody hard.
So
Leah says, we create as we go, shouted to my consciousness.
good.
And we must settle into our hearts. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
I have to speak up at this point and say, if we believe the line we just read from Buddha, if you think it's going to be hard, my blessed children, it's going to be hard.
Exactly.
It's been, and I'm glad Jean mentioned our psychic journey because that's that's how when I was watching everything go by, and it was very validated. But in my journey, I stepped into a greater power and a greater reality in my life when I really started to realize who I was. I mean, I started out with, Abraham Hicks, and that was the first realization, like, yeah, I can be more positive. I can get rid of these negative thoughts. I can just accept the positive is true and the negative is false and get rid of the negative, right? That was a
Not
step.
my reality. The negative
But
is not
yeah,
my
that's
reality.
perfect. And then when I really studied the journey of souls and started to learn about souls and started to read souls and started to feel souls, things happened to me that weren't within my former idea of
No kidding.
reality. It was different. And I was like, wow, this is real. This
And
is
you
real.
had to make,
I am a spark of the divine. I am a spark of the divine. And there are many multiple realities around us. I've always been a science geek. If you look into the Moreau Institutes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have amazing, amazing studies. So, yeah,
think those are
science is
so
catching up with this. But I recently went to a dinner with people that previously I was a little nervous being around because, there were just some different views of things, and then they always brought it up. And for some reason, this time I'd taken a step up somehow in my meditation. I walked in there and I felt love like I'm a nice person. Everybody will tell you that, but I felt love like I've never felt it before. And it seemed like everything that came out of my mouth was perfect. Everything was perfect about the whole adventure because I had a completely different attitude and I walked in there knowing who I was,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
don't you have a whole new set of rules and beliefs?
Yes.
Oh,
And
my
you
belief
had to
system.
create
Yeah, our belief systems have changed so much with
Oh, yeah.
as our talents have grown.
yeah.
Whoever believed in a dragon? I didn't believe in dragons till I met mine.
How cool is that?
Okay,
Yeah.
I am a dragon in another
Fairies.
reality.
And like it was so funny because I remember when we first started setting up the fairy things, and one of the things that I had was a fairy riding a log three-wheeler, and it was on the ground one day, and I just knew Eli didn't make the corner. Eli was one of our fairy friends, and he had been zooming around, his young kid fairy, and he didn't make the corner around the table, and he just went boom onto the ground. And I actually
We
know
believed in
what
fairies in the
happened.
backyard. I used to say we had fairies in the backyard when I was a kid, but we really did in Key West.
We really had them.
And I had them in England, in our property in England.
Mhm. I have a granddaughter who I call her my fairy granddaughter. And whenever we film her, there's a little orb.
Wow.
And it's at different places, different cameras, no matter where it is, this little orb pops up. And I'm like,
And we never would have believed any of this stuff
no.
5-10 years ago.
Well, I don't know. I
Although it
believe
is
in a
coming
lot
up
of
to about
sci-fi
5
stuff, but I still say it's wilder than your wilder dreams. Your wildest dreams. It's like exploring outer space when you step into these different realities that exist for you. And yeah, to answer Leah's question, yes, there's a particular theme we're talking about here because it's going to get wild, but we're talking about different realities.
Changing our realities, how we can change our own reality just by our thoughts and actions.
And it really has always gotten to me. And maybe that's the reason why I've always loved his poem about taking the path less traveled.
Yes.
Because that's what we need to do to make things the way we want them to be. Think about, thinking, using our own heads and our own hearts for our decisions rather than.
Don't you think that all of us in this room have taken the path less
Yes.
traveled?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody in this group.
I've had so many incarnations in this lifetime, so many changes of my reality from, being in my 20s to 30s to 40. It's like I've lived 5 or 6 different lifetimes in the
Yes.
same lifetime. It's crazy. I
And
didn't know that we live like that, and most people don't. Most people are still caught up in the matrix and
Right.
living on autopilot. My mom's and dad taught me to do this, this, and this, and so that's what they've done for the rest of their life. You get up, you get married, you have kids, you grow old, and you die. How much fun is that?
and the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No, it needs to be
It
fixed.
needs to be fixed.
And I keep thinking of all those rabbit holes that you went down. That's all independent thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joan, what do you have to say? You're down there quiet in the corner.
Oh, well, I've just been thinking about I love the presentation, and when you were talking about how we create our present thoughts create or our thoughts create our
Yeah.
reality,
Yeah.
and how so we need to change our thoughts. But sometimes you need to kind of there are practical things that it's useful, like
Yes.
change always having your keys put in the same place. And
Mhm.
so I want to keep that the same until, all of that, because I've been having problems with memory lately. When I was taking care of my sister-in-law and I was cleaning out after she died earlier this year and cleaning out her house, I would go and think, okay, now I'm in a new place and working here all day. I'm putting my keys here. And then I would give away or sell her table or the place where I was putting the keys. And so
Oh,
I had to create a new reality again. Where are they going to be? Because I spent, that was a time of change, rapid change, just in physical things. And I thought it was just an example of, okay, now I have to create in my mind where the new reality where I'm going to put those keys is and stick to that for a while. But
Yep.
yeah, I think we can all look back and think about times even before I really understood what was going on, where you created your own reality. And
Yeah.
one time for me, when I was in high school, I was in some sort of group, and it was like, so I was in a big group of people, girls from all over the state, and we were it was like girl state, right? I don't know if you have that there, but probably 600-700 girls from, teenagers from all over the state. And it was like a mock government thing. And so the first day we were all in the auditorium and we saw all the people who had been elected officers up on the stage. And I was shy and sitting in the back row, but I thought, I want to be up there. I want to be one of the, I don't know, maybe there were 7 or 8 of them. And I felt that very strongly. And then I thought, well, at that time, I really believed that you only get things by working hard for it. So there wasn't much I could do. I gave a speech and made a poster or something like that. But funny thing, at the end, I was up there. I was elected one of the officers. And
nice.
it scared me. That night, I could not stop crying because it scared me, because I put together that really kind of like when you're a teenager, I really want this. And then it happened. And I thought, I need to figure out how this works.
Yeah,
It was pretty
Yeah.
cool, but it was an early lesson.
that is very cool.
That's great. It came from the energy of the desire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And kind of the
manifested it.
innocence of it.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
remember when Heather and I went to Sedona, and my guides had been asking me to start this YouTube channel, and I'd been going, no, 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 I'm not interested. I was terrified, absolutely terrified of the thought. And then finally in Sedona, I was like, okay, whatever. But you have to bring me the experts. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I yelled it at the universe. If you want me to do this, you got to bring me the experts. And they did. It was a few weeks later that my friend David showed up with his friend, and the ball got rolling for
Yeah.
the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And they were the experts, because I didn't have a clue what was going on.
They just took over, set us all up, told us what we're doing, and
So, I mean, that when your intention is really strong, you tend to manifest what it is that you're
Yeah.
desiring.
And he did such beautiful work for you, but then you were able to give back when he needed. You were able to marshal your entire audience to send him good energy when he needed it for a health problem, right?
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it was reciprocated. We helped him and learn Key West and how to deal with Key West, and I mean, it was reciprocated,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
and really was. It was a beautiful thing from the universe, and it was a great lesson for me. I mean, it was a big lesson for me. Be careful what you ask for.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what. Oh,
The reference to laughter.
Tara Stash, I referenced the laughter show during my live today. Oh, thank you, Terry Lee, in case your ears were burning.
That's
I'll
what it
watch
was.
that show. If you don't get a chance, go back and watch the Tara Stash show today with
Yes.
Yeah, go back.
it was really a
And
good
go back
show
and see
today.
her show.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Oh,
go back and see Terry Lee's show about laughter.
Yeah.
For sure. That was a
Terry is
great
right.
show.
power of laughter. Yes, indeed. And that is a reality in itself.
Mhm.
When you've got that kind of joy and that energy surrounding you, it's protective. It protects you, and it affects other people. We won't go there now, but there's another thing. That's beautiful. Thank you.
That's
Thank you,
true.
Gerald.
And getting back to this, have all of you, I know I have all of you found that following the path less followed is easier every time you do it?
Yeah.
Yes, because the traditional path I found very difficult.
There you go.
Didn't resonate at all. No church, no religion. There was so much of it that just didn't resonate, even as a child. That
Yeah.
I'm much happier doing
Yes.
what I want to do rather than what society tells me I need to do.
Yeah, I feel like changing our reality just gets easier as we do it.
As we learn the ropes.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination.
But it makes a whole big difference on how we feel.
It does.
Mhm. Well, we're all here at this point in time because we're ready to understand reality and how we can change it. And we fought to get here. Pat yourself on the back, everybody.
That's absolutely true.
We had many lifetimes that prepared us for this moment. And I just get so excited when I realize that and just accept that and say, yeah, that's true.
I'm so excited. I know I shouldn't say anything, but after tomorrow, I just think it's going to be such an amazing world coming up. I think there's going to be so many major changes and creating, because there's so many of us that are creating a peaceful, harmonious new earth. Yeah,
I'm excited too. I'm doing a live show tomorrow, and the theme is "A New Day is Dawning."
Ooh, I love that. That sounds great. Thanks, Tara Stash, for putting that up. That's
We
great.
appreciate that.
There was a lot of
that
laughter
was
in that show.
part of
This
the
is something interesting that Garnet says. You begin to see the trees from the wood.
Mm-hmm.
I had really noticed how much more I see the changing of the colors, the leaves.
Yes.
Everything in nature seems more intense and bright and beautiful. And I'm constantly pointing out, look at the colors here. And my poor granddaughter's like, yeah, give me whatever. Look over here.
My grandkids will testify to that as well. I have to say too that my connection with Gaia, and I know people would say I was crazy, but I'm not. I'm more tuned in because I can see the bunny out in the yard, and I'll be like, "Oh, good morning," and the bunny's eating, and then all of a sudden the bunny looks right at me, like, yeah, good morning, yeah, you recognize who I
have
am,
one
I
too.
recognize who you are, isn't it great?
I love it. Yep, I have one out in my yard, and not every morning, but most mornings or evenings, I see Bunny. Hi, Bunny. How you doing?
Yeah.
They're the best pets. They feed themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I've recently got a trio of blue jays that come at about
Oh,
3:34 every day. And I just stand at the window and just send them love and so much awe. And that's a new thing.
They're very magical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
So
I had noticed way back there that somebody had made the comment about how we speak to ourselves. And so if anybody really wants more in depth on that, we have a show about how language matters. So go back and watch it.
I love it.
that's a really good point. And also about what you take in. And I think there's a lot of people who are not in this community who think I'm crazy that I don't watch the news. I don't have it on all the time. I
That's all right. I don't
watch,
either.
I don't
watch
watch it.
the PBS NewsHour, and that's it. If even that, and get information in other places because I don't want to be dragged into that vortex of negativity. And I think people like us are in some ways who've decided to make that choice are putting out more positive energy and choosing to see the positive in whatever it is. So it just feels right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And it feels right as one of those ways the mind works.
Exactly.
if you realize too, the power of your created souls, the guides told me, and I'd love to say this. So I'll say it again. Every time a soul is created, it is given a unique contribution to the cosmic consciousness of the universes. Yeah.
Exactly. The universe is not just one
Universes.
universe.
Mhm.
I love
Yep.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff. And that's our reality. We're just waking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's all a part of evolution as well, that it's up to us individually to create our own reality and manage and be responsible for our own thoughts and thinking and choices and manifestation and things that we focus on and pay attention to. I think it's up to us. I think it's up to the individual to change the world, because what we think of and what we focus on, we create around us. So
Exactly.
if each and every one of us were aware of all of the information that you so brilliantly displayed for us, Heather, that we would change the world. And it takes all of us. And it's not up to one person. It's up to each and every one of us to change our own world.
That's right.
I agree 100%. Changing our reality for ourselves changes it for the collective.
Yeah.
Everything, every instant of love or hate goes into that collective consciousness. So I want to send love, not hate.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's true. And
no matter how hard it is, right?
oh yeah.
Like our yellow menace.
Well, when you start to see everybody as a soul, it kind of changes.
That you're connected to.
Right.
Not
You
just
can- you
everybody's
can
a
say
soul, but we're all connected. Yeah.
Oh, we're all connected, even those that even that one. And and it's all unfolding to create this reality that we're in, so that
Mhm.
we can take a step up and say, okay, I
Exactly.
recognize that as a soul, but that is not my reality. I only accept love and light. And I think it's going to help everybody else just step up.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. Let's see what we got. We've got some other. Okay.
What I found is
Lori.
Oh. Can you feel into your core essence and find only joy and happiness, even when we feel low some days, but our inner self is pure joy? I love that.
yeah, if you go back into yourself and start meditating when you're having a down day, I'm not down when I get done.
Yeah.
And if not in meditation, in nature. That's the next thing for me that helps the most, to just go be in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Nature, definitely.
Yeah.
We had a little snow today on the foothills, and after this, I have to go drive up into the foothills to see my first snow of the year. Because I have to be out in the snow in the nature, and I just love going up to Horsetooth Reservoir. It's like 15 minutes away.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. And we see deer and a ton of turkeys. And I was telling Libby the other day, I wonder if the turkeys are going to disappear this month so they don't get shot for Thanksgiving.
And you don't have to be out in the country. I live in a city, and on my walking route, it's a very busy street. But there's a flock of turkeys there too.
And believe it, in Western Kansas, there was a little town that we did a lot of shopping in, but because I lived in the country, and they would take pictures of them. There would be turkeys all the way through town, but not on the ground. they were all nesting in the trees.
Oh yeah. I
Right.
know.
There was the flock was
You know,
separated on one. They wanted to get back together. So just the other day, I was stopping traffic. So I'm a turkey crossing guard again.
Oh, I love that.
But
That
one
is so
they
cute.
saw it, like, oh, okay.
That's beautiful. But you're so right, Joan. You don't have to have like the forest behind your house to step into. How about some beautiful houseplants? I talk to my houseplants all the time and watching them change and grow and, prosper. And they tell me when it's time to transplant them and when it's time to water them. That's communicating with nature too. If you can't get out in it, get some houseplants.
Mhm. For sure.
And
I
I
miss
agree
my
with
garden and
that
house
one
plant.
person comment that we can speak to the animals so much easier,
Yes.
a lot more often. And that's true.
Yeah.
That really is true. I've noticed Olivia talking to our dog and our cat and getting the most incredible information. And I really have never talked to animals until just the last couple of weeks. I started talking. I never understood what my dog was trying to say. I never communicated with her. And then all of a sudden now I can.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
really interesting with how they see things. Like I took Sassy in for for grooming, bath and grooming, and they always put bandanas on them, and I hate the bandanas. I always think the bandanas are tacky, and dogs don't like to be dressed up like. I just have always had the feeling for my animals they don't want to dress up. Sassy says I feel pretty, so I left the bandana on her. I take it off at night, and in the morning she comes and puts her head through the hole to wear her bandana because it makes her feel pretty.
Yeah. There you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
You've got it, girl.
And it's like when I had a horse, and when I'm thinking back, I'm going, yes, telepathically we communicated all the time.
Yes.
Even if I wasn't riding him and somebody else was riding him because we were in team events, one of the adults said, "You were with him the whole time, weren't you?" Because I was saying, "Yes, take off now for this fence, take off now for this fence."
Mhm.
And he was doing what I was communicating
Wow.
to do. So telepathy with animals is absolutely a yes, it is true. I mean, I was doing that as a high schooler. So
Yeah. Now I can testify horses are highly telepathic and,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they survived as herd animals and they communicate with each other and they definitely feel the vibrations of humans. They are very, very sensitive. So that's exciting that you had that experience.
I know. I'm really thrilled to be able to talk to my dog telepathically, but I still can't get her to stop licking the floor or getting in the trash. She refuses. I say, it makes your tummy sick. Don't do that. I don't care. I don't care.
that's like my dog on Kleenexes. Keep them cleaned up.
That's funny.
So that is interesting though, Priscilla, because you actually stepped into a different reality when you began to realize that they were communicating with you telepathically and you could do that with them as well.
Mhm.
And that's another reality,
Yep.
expanding and understanding it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that happened to me. I've been, working with spirituality for the last 5, 6 years intensively. And every year those gifts expand.
Mhm.
I never know what's going to come up next.
I was
It's
going to say,
exciting.
think back when you were raising horses. You were talking to them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had my special ones. And that they loved the energy healing that we did on them. They would come for me to work on them with the
Mhm.
connective healing, which is the methodology that I learned,
Mhm.
and it really worked quite well on them.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I started there, and then after I realized it was working on the horses, I started a wellness center on the farm.
Wow.
Wow, that's
And then
cool.
we got into yoga and all the other stuff, all kinds
Mhm.
of things. It was great. Great experience.
Well, I'm telling old stories from the 70s. Just this conversation made me remember a time when I was sitting around with my family, and it was my 2 sisters, my mom, my dad, brother and his wife, and out on the patio, and a neighbor's dog was barking and barking. They must have left it in the house, and it was barking, and it was really loud. So finally, the sister-in-law said, "Why don't we just tune in and send send love to that dog, and ask him to stop barking?" And so we did, and within 30 seconds, the dog just stopped barking. And this had been going on for hours.
I'm going to try that this afternoon on my neighbor's dog.
And my dad looked around and said, "Oh, there's like a bunch of witches here." And the sister-in-law went on to be an animal communicator decades later, but she was really good at it.
This is interesting. I used telepathic communication with my yearling in order to be able to touch her. She was so scared and standoffish when she first came home. So I visualized touching her for 3 days and it worked. Oh, that's beautiful. Kat.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
David Crook says, our dog knows it's almost 5 o'clock and it's time to eat. Oh, yeah, mine too.
What animal doesn't know it's time to eat? And mine barks at me. And actually, she would bark at me because most everybody knows I'm pretty well deaf. But she would bark at me if any buzzer or alarm went off in my house, and run to it and run back and get me to go shut it off. And I'm going, good girl, you know, because I don't hear it, but she does.
Animals are amazing, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great segue into all the different ways that we can change our realities, and think of some creative ways that may come to you specifically. Your guides will give them to you once you open your mind up to that and say, "Hey, I'm ready. I want to be more into different realities. What's out there for me?" They're going to answer. It's going to be a ride. You're going to love it.
You think about it, and if it's something you want and you believe it's going to be there, it's going to be there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It
Absolutely.
may take some time, but it's there.
What a great chat we've had out there today.
Yeah.
So much great
Yeah,
conversation.
great chat conversations.
Yes, thank you all.
Have you ever heard turkeys are smart and gave a beautiful story? Part one, there was a flood. All the animals ran. The turkey was busy. The animals thought she was lazy. The flood came and she barely made it. When turkey made it ashore, she fluffed her wings and all the seeds needed to start over fell to the ground.
Oh, how interesting.
I haven't
That
heard
is
that.
interesting.
Beautiful.
I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not either, but that's cool.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
too. Animals are so in tune, such beautiful creatures with amazing souls.
Mhm.
No, to be born, to be incarnated with humans that are so mean and nasty.
That's
We
tough.
just must have incredible souls to teach us the lessons that we need to learn from them.
Mhm. Angelic souls, I believe.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Because their love is pure love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. And I love the fact that sometimes they become our guides on the
Yeah.
other side, or that
Yeah.
we have lived other lives as humans or other
Mhm.
beings with
Yeah.
some of our pets. I think that's
Mhm.
just fascinating.
I definitely know that's true.
And they come back. Their lifespan's not as long as ours, but they come back. So I know I've had this dog and several others that come because they will combine
Mhm.
and at least 3 times
Yeah.
in my life. It's
Good.
the same dog.
Interesting.
Yep.
Hey, SunPsychic Gene, you're awful quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping the noise down over here. And it's getting dark, so it's it's daylight. Well, it's not, it's standard time now, so I'm trying to get used to it.
Oh, I love it.
And the sun is actually setting right around now.
I
Mhm.
know
And I'm
it's
seeing
so
you guys
early
all have
now.
bright sunshine. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the sunset's before 5 now here.
Mhm.
Yep,
And it's
Yep.
still dark when I take her out for her first walk around 6:30 or 7.
it is. I know. So
Yeah, it's
I'm
different.
adjusting. It's, you all know it's my at least it's November. I think I have like 45 days of this before December 21st is what I focus on, because that's when the daylight starts getting longer. So
So it really affects you greatly, does it?
yeah, that's why I'm sun psychic. Yeah.
Ah,
You didn't know that? No, I'm not kidding. That's why. That's
No,
why
I
I'm so
remember
excited.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
have a light panel? I have a light panel because I have had the sad, from darkness. I'm always affected by that. But I have a little light panel that I just, if I'm working, and just put it by my desk,
That's
and
clever.
that
My
helps.
Yeah.
sister has one too. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I had to use something, just a bright light, and shine it on the wall. I can't have it shining directly on me, but just so the ambient lighting is light at work, because it was really bad one year. And I thought I like low lighting when it is nighttime. I like the low lighting. I don't like it very bright at nighttime. I don't. It's just my sensitivity. That's all.
Okay.
But yeah, SunPsychic gene for a reason, Gerald. But so
Didn't
I'm
bother
just
me
kind of
here.
zoning out and really relaxing over here because I don't have to do all the
Oh,
talking.
hey, High Vibin uses the 888, and Priscilla and I were. I'll say this again. High Vibing 888 uses the red light therapy. Priscilla and I were discussing earlier today. We're
Mhm.
both doing that as well, and I highly recommend it. Highly
Red light therapy?
Uh-huh.
red light therapy.
Yeah.
You'll have to send me the link.
Yes, it's amazing. I have a really reliable one. There's some hokey ones out there. I had to do a lot of research, but I have a very reliable one, Jean. I'll be happy to send that to you. And it's awesome because it hangs on the wall and I can adjust it for different wherever
Ooh,
I'm
I want
treating.
that. I want
Yeah,
one of
so
those.
wherever I'm
Please
treating,
send me
I
the
just
link too, because I had it done. I had a facial and had it done yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I had a birthday facial and massage yesterday. It
That's
was fantastic.
cool. That's
I was
wonderful.
jello afterward. But yeah, red light therapy is amazing. And
Yeah.
far infrared,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's amazing.
a lot of
Red
benefits
ignites
to
you.
that. Yes, it does.
Does.
Well, I'll bet that day taking care of yourself raised your soul into a new reality as well, because now you're loving and
Definitely
caring
raised
for
your
yourself. Yeah,
I
yeah,
felt so good when I walked out of there. It was like
yeah.
magic. This is like magic.
For you.
You know, when you just really need a massage, just really need some self-care.
Yeah,
And so that was my birthday present to myself.
Good for you.
Yeah, I thought so
Yeah.
too. What do you guys got going on later in the week? SunPsychic Jean, when are you on again?
I have a big show coming up, and I had a show, um, a psychic fair on Saturday,
Oh,
and it was
fun.
the biggest one I ever did, and the most readings I ever did in one day, and it was amazing. Really high vibrational, expanded people, and people sitting down and saying, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm having downloads. I think everything starts happening all at once. And what's going on? There are muggles coming online left and right. I'm
I
telling you.
love
I
it.
love the way you call it muggles. That's perfect. That's so sweet. Nasty.
They say, this is
Muggles.
the first time I'm coming to one of these spiritual fairs. I don't know what to do. That's what they say. I'm like, you're in the
Wow.
right place.
Yeah,
And then I have another one coming up this Saturday, which is a little bit smaller of a venue, and I've done it before, so it's a wonderful one as well. But I have actually Gerald and I will be doing our mediumship on Thursday the 7th at 12 noon Eastern, and
yay.
that will be I guess 9 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Mountain for you ladies.
Oh, wow.
And I have a private appointment outside of the house. And then I have a big lineup. I have a triple header with an extra dose of oomph on the 8th, on Friday the 8th. Yep. And then I have my show.
Yay.
It's great.
Wow.
Psychic Triad, right? This Friday?
Very, very, very busy.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I have Terry Renner coming at noon. I have Jonathan Daly at 2. I have Terry Lee at 4:30, and then Ginger at 6. So I have
Ooh,
a.
girl.
Wow.
Ooh,
But as long as they're in one day, I think I'm okay.
wow, that's exciting.
Wow.
Sleep well that night.
What about you, Terry Lee?
Well, Let me just tell you quickly how the universe arranges things. Sometimes I usually read on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
I got a thing in the mail saying I was going to have jury duty and I needed to report on Wednesday. So I said, okay, I'll do it Tuesday. And then I was like, oh, I'm doing it on November 5th. Oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden they started to give me all this. Here's what you're going to say. Here's what you're going to
Oh,
present.
cool.
How you're going to, this is the reality you're going to create around this reading. So that is tomorrow, everybody.
What time?
And that is at 5 Eastern, 4 Central, 3 Mountain, and 2 Pacific. And then I'll be on Friday with beautiful SunPsychic Jean.
We'll all be there with our I voted stickers.
Yes.
Brilliant.
And
So
I
what
am
about you,
voting
Joan?
tomorrow, by the way. Is everybody already voted? I'm old fashioned. I like to go in there.
I even got my thing back that said it had been received and counted.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
'cause I used a ballot box. I'd never done that before. I usually mail it. But I
Wow.
dropped them off in the ballot
you.
box. And
Good for
that's
you.
pretty neat.
Yeah,
I'm
my
old-fashioned.
son-in-law dropped
I have.
mine off for me.
Pardon?
My son-in-law dropped mine off for me.
Oh, isn't that nice? I'm old fashioned. I live in a little small town and I go into this little place to vote with the same little ladies that are in there all the time. And I just like to go in there beaming like I know something nobody else in there knows. Right?
What about you, Jean?
Oh, yes,
You already voted too?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did.
received
I
the
mailed mine in, and then I checked on the Secretary of State's website whether it was received. And then I checked again. And first it said, yes, it's been received. And then I checked again and I wasn't seeing that message. So I called the Secretary of State's office to make sure that they got it. So I'm being very, very sure that it was received and counted. And if you have any question, I'd read anybody, I would recommend doing that.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
If you have any questions whatsoever,
Yeah.
call your appropriate office. I don't know where that would be. Probably Secretary of State. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have voting. I don't know, all kinds of numbers for voting information in Colorado. This is my first year. I literally got my driver's license last week. And when you get your driver's license, you're automatically registered to vote.
That's
And
cool.
I had the card that said you're now registered to vote within 3 days. I mean, I had the ballot within a week.
Yeah, I told you they're
And I thought it would be too late for a mail-in ballot, but it wasn't.
No,
Here within a week.
yeah, mine
That was exciting to see that it's so well done, handled so well and so easy.
Yeah.
very.
I personally
very
think it should be a national law that you registered to vote when you get your driver's license or something to that effect. It's just so much more efficient.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good. So
Things are getting better all the time.
to vote too.
Yeah.
If you haven't, please do. We'd appreciate it. We have tomorrow. Heather's really been busy this last couple of weeks. Tomorrow she's going to remote view. Where are we remote viewing tomorrow? I forgot.
Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, that's going to be good.
It's going to be fascinating. She's given me some little tidbits already. Oh my goodness. It's going to be amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow. And I'll have to finish up my show notes for that because I haven't finished the research, but I'm excited about that. And then next Saturday we have Valerie.
Yes.
Already the full moon time. The full moon's on the 15th, I believe.
Yeah.
It's time.
So Valerie will be here next weekend, next Saturday. And our shows are typically 8:00 Eastern on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So you guys, thank you for being here. Please go like and subscribe to SunPsychic Jean, Pure Visionary if you haven't, and Wisdom Seeker Joan and us. We'd appreciate that.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe and share our videos with your friends. Let them know what's going on. Maybe it'll resonate with somebody. We appreciate you being here. And any last words, ladies? Heather, thank you so much for a great presentation.
Well done, Heather.
Very good,
It's a
Heather.
great conversation.
Yeah, really good conversations.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you. See you next time.
All